Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday live stream today. I think some of you guys noticed that we held a live stream yesterday on a Saturday, and that live stream was kind of talked about the available Swift server-side technologies that I will be creating a few tutorials on, hopefully later in May, I believe, and we'll go through more of those tutorials in the upcoming month. But today I wanted to talk about some of the interesting highlights of the F8 conference, which was held last week. And let me just see what I have on the simulator right here. And I wanted to also ask you guys where or what you found interesting from the F8 conference, because they went over a lot of different topics ranging from augmented reality, then there's virtual reality, and then some other interesting things such as messenger bots. And the thing that I found the most interesting was the bit of technology that they're developing a little bit secretly about communicating telepathically using your brain somehow. Now, I don't think that technology is going to be available in like the next year or two, but it definitely sounds interesting. And I don't really know anything other than them trying to make that technology available through the Facebook platform. And if anyone can make a change in terms of, communicating differently via a social network, it's probably going to be Facebook. Or at least that's going to be my opinion anyhow. So, I'm not going to have another 2-hour live stream today. I'm just going to cap it at, I think, 1 hour. So I know a lot of you guys are concerned about the super lengthy live streams, and it's hard to get all the information available on these streams. So I'm trying to make them a little bit shorter in the future here. But it's always good for me good for me to kind of just talk to you guys through the chat. And I am reading all the comments. So let's see. Can you upload your brain to mine? Oh, we have Liang Bell. Hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Good night from me. Wow, I'm surprised you're still awake from the last live stream that I held. I think roughly 12 hours ago. Yeah. Isn't it amazing that so many of you guys are coming from so many different types of backgrounds? And we have Chai Tanya, Ramji. I believe you were here for the Saturday live stream as well. Okay, so let's get the show on the road here. So let me know what you guys found interesting about F8, because I watched a couple of videos and I watched the keynotes. Nothing too revolutionary yet, but I think the Facebook Spaces is going to be interesting. And so let's see what we have here. Facebook is developing some kind of technology that is going to allow us to communicate using our brain wave patterns somehow. And I think that was the most interesting, highlight of the entire conference for me. I'm not exactly the biggest virtual reality or augmented reality fan. I'm not a solid believer in that technology. I think VR is going to take off in perhaps next couple of years, but I don't really see it being as mind-blowing as people are kind of making it out to be. Okay. Yes, Alec Williams, 2 live streams in a row. Yeah. From Singapore, it's 1:50 a.m. And we have Fred in the stream again. Hello again. I won't be holding 2 live streams in one single week very often. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the other bits of news that they announced in the F8 conference, I don't know if they provided the augmented reality glasses for the attendees, but They dedicated, I think, roughly an hour to 2 hours on the augmented reality technology, and they displayed some games that you can play, some type of AR display for you to kind of look at, and based on what you're looking at, it'll tell you exactly what the information is that you're kind of displaying through the glasses. And, this is not actually all that new in terms of technology, so I don't really believe that augmented reality will ever take off. That's just me. So Facebook wants to make it socially acceptable to wear glasses similar to Google Glasses. A lot of you guys still remember Google Glasses, right? It only lasted roughly half a year before people start to find it really dorky, geeky, and also creepy at the same time. So if Facebook is able to figure out how to integrate their augmented reality glasses in a non-creepy, intrusive way, then I think they'll have some success in the AR market. I don't know how they're going to do that. But, let's see. Let's give them a chance. And yeah, Google Glasses kind of just disappeared from the face of the earth. I don't think anyone even remembers what they look like anymore, except for that little black little bar at the top right corner. So, I'm really hoping that they can have some success with augmented reality. What they displayed during the conference about how you can play AR games and just use the AR glasses to provide more information regarding the specific location that you're at. I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah. And then we have Facebook Spaces, which is something that a lot of people are referring to as a copycat or a more evolved version of Second Life. Now, I never used or played, is it a game, Second Life, but there has been a lot of technology that is similar to what Facebook Spaces is offering. And basically, Facebook Spaces is a VR world that allows you and your Facebook friends to explore kind of different places together around the world. And you can imagine if you are planning a vacation, for example, let's say I'm going to Japan. If I am planning it with like 4 or 5 Facebook friends, we can virtually visit this specific Japan location to see how it is virtually first before we get there physically. I think that's interesting. If you're planning a major trip like that and you have like 10, 20 different places that everyone wants to visit, you can experience that location virtually and then decide whether or not you guys want to go there. And maybe that'll eventually replace the physical experience entirely. I don't think that's going to happen within the next 5 to 10 years, but it's going to be an addition to how you book like your vacations in the future. So I think there's definitely a business and a market there for companies to take advantage of, especially like hotels.com or, vacation websites. Yep. Okay, so final little topic here. So Facebook Messenger bots for businesses. I think they covered this on the first day or the second day of the F8 conference. And obviously, you guys can Google search a lot of this information. And I watched the keynote on this for just a little bit. And I think they came out with Facebook Messenger bots in 2014 or 2015. And they pushed a lot of companies to use Facebook bots through the Messenger app. I don't know if it ever took off, but they're pushing it again. And now businesses that want to provide a more engaging help desk experience that is, I guess, smarter than an FAQ page can use Messenger bots. And this technology incorporates many different aspects of AI to intelligently gather information from the internet, as well as companies providing this information to the bot. And hopefully, if that's able to drive sales to particular branches of the company, then that's a one way to use Facebook Messenger bots. There's a weird hissing sound from your audio. I am trying out various different audio mixers right now. So there is a slight hum. I can eliminate it if I go back to the microphone itself, but it's currently being plugged into a soundboard mixer, whatever you want to call it. And so something is wrong with the audio. There is, let me monitor what the audio is doing. So I am definitely not an audio expert. The sound was best before you started to experiment. Let's see what I can do with the sound here. It sounds okay. Maybe I'll switch back to the mic and you guys can let me know what sounds better. So I am going to switch it back to the USB interface instead of the audio mixer interface. And now it's better. So the sound is always different for different people. Just like the video for the recordings, it's always different. Like some people have different monitors that produce a different color. And then some people are listening through different headphones, the laptop speakers, and then better improved speakers. So I'm currently listening through all my sound through this guy was really coming in blue. So this is not sponsored by JBL, which is what this speaker is. So you guys can see it. This is a JBL Charge or Bolt or whatever they call it. It's a wireless speaker, but it's currently being charged through the USB port. And this is what I listen all my audio on. Has a pretty good bass level. Now it's really loud. Okay. So I think if I do this. Yeah. Okay. Now it's very, very bad now. Okay. I think I'm going to settle on one of these interfaces. The problem with the USB mic is that you can't monitor the sound at the same time. So I forgot to turn down the gain and the volume on the microphone, and now the hiss is gone. I think I probably sound a lot clearer through just the USB interface. Yeah. Perfect. So I can stop wearing the silly headphones now. I definitely need a co-host here. Go with an XLR mic into a Red Scarlett works a treat. So I looked at the Red Scarlett, which is kind of expensive. It's like $100 to buy that Red Scarlett. And the XLR mic that I'm thinking about is going to cost me about $200. I'm looking at the Rode NT1 XLR microphone. And then I need to get another mixer that's going to cost me $150. So I'm not terribly excited about spending more money on more audio equipment because I think I have enough equipment already. You guys don't know how many things I use to make these live streams as well as the videos on YouTube. It's just way too much equipment that I don't want to have. I don't want to add more to the list of things that I have to manage. Yeah. Okay, so we have Loose Monkey here. Any other what's up? What's up, man? Any other app tutorials like the Instagram one? I'm ready to fork over 50 crisp American dollars because your course is super good. Yeah, once we finish the Instagram app, we're gonna work out another course, and then I think every month, if I don't like burn out from producing courses, I can produce probably one course every month, and it's been going good so far. Yeah. Do you have plans to make an advanced Swift tutorials? I think the Instagram app that we are currently working on is probably as advanced as we're going to get for the time being. The next advanced app I want to make is going to revolve around maps. And then the one after that is going to be something that revolves around audio, playing music in the foreground and the background, and then probably keeping track of a playlist of tracks. Okay. So I saw a question about Litho right here from Radical. And Facebook is now releasing technology. So let's see, Facebook. Let's see, F8 highlights. Litho is Facebook's, I guess, own proprietary technology on building out Android apps, and they're releasing it or open sourcing it for everyone to use to also build Android apps. I don't know what language they're using, but previously they were known to use React Native to build all their apps, or they were pushing React Native through Facebook. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's what they're going to do. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just looking at the list of highlights here. So let's go through the list of highlights together. And here we are. I think I can pull up this one, perhaps over here, and then we'll look at what is going on over here. So hopefully nothing too embarrassing in my Chrome browser. Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys are interested in joining the Facebook group, yeah, it's a lot of fun doing all this stuff live, huh? So the Facebook group is here. That's me. Everyone wants to join this stuff. You can look at my information here, which is always interesting to look at someone's notifications. And not going to go in the private messaging because that has some private information there. So, and also the Instagram courses here. And we have the highlights from the Facebook F8 conference in 2017. So I'm going to quickly go through some of the things that they talked about. So let's see. Keynote day one, it would be possible to make your own still 2D filters for a Facebook camera. I don't really find that interesting all that much. Facebook Enterprise Business Workplace has added chat bots. So this is the messenger bots thing, I believe. Programmers can build AR selfie masks, create interactive games, and add virtual objects to the reality, just like TV or chessboard. Yeah, so this is again the AR technology that I'm not too sold on. It'd be possible to add messenger bots to group chat conversations as friends can together create a Spotify playlist or find a consensus about book flights together or movie tickets. Yeah, I'm not sure about integrating a bot so that the bot can read all of our chat information. And I'm not really sure if the bot can actually recommend useful information. So Facebook Messenger will have a discovery tab so users can browse bot categories. So we have a donation from Johan Albrechtsen again. So Johan, thank you for the support. Definitely appreciate it. And is there a message on this one? Nope, no message. Yeah. And let's see. Facebook Messenger's instant games will have their own tab, so users can find new players to play with their friends and challenge users. Facebook has revamped its Messenger QR codes. Yeah, they mentioned that QR codes was not a thing that people in the West really use. So QR is really big in China, I know, because of the popularity of WeChat and just scanning VR code to purchase things and apply to rewards programs in certain companies is really easy through QR codes. But it's not a thing that you find in like United States. So in the same conference, FB announced an augmented reality developer platform, a virtual reality version, and group chatbots, and a virtual reality version of Facebook. Facebook is is open sourcing its tool Litho to build its own Android app. I'm kind of interested to find out what that kind of looks like. Whether or not they're still using Java, JavaScript, or maybe Kotlin, or some combination of the three. Facebook's JavaScript framework React received 2 new updates. Now programmers can build virtual reality content. React Fiber is a complete rewrite of the React framework that is designed to power image-heavy experiences. Cool. Facebook Spaces will allow 3 friends to hang out in a virtual room where users can draw, chat, watch 360. Facebook Insights will bring some significant updates for the page as well as business owners. Can now scan users' analytics and will highlight essential changes. And at last, Mark added, "We will keep doing everything we can to prevent tragedies from happening." I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I guess those are some of the interesting bits of the conference. Yeah, so I see one question down there already. So we have David. Thank you for the magical grid episodes. I really enjoyed it. So hopefully everyone that's part of the channel here has watched those 3 episodes on the magical grid. Those 3 episodes are actually meant to be part of an algorithm challenge series. And originally when I was developing, I was thinking about how I can integrate hash maps and also generate subviews in a grid at the same time. And that kind of developed into a very short 3 episode series. And just through watching how someone can code something and build it in a couple of videos really helps, beginners and maybe even more advanced programmers to kind of see how Swift works. And obviously there are many different ways to build out that project. That's just one of the ways of doing it. Yeah. So currently I don't have any books because writing out a book just takes so much time and a lot of dedication and also a lot of just focus. I'm currently doing so many different things that I can't focus on writing out a book, unfortunately. I would love to be able to just say, okay, buy my book and give me your money. But I don't have the expertise to do that right now. The videos, I think, are they strike a good balance in what I want to do for everyone out there. And producing videos I find to be a lot of fun, actually. So, yep. Observing someone else's logic really can improve your own. Yeah, totally. You should make it so we can buy single videos from any of the courses, like $5 a video. Yeah, I don't think I'll be making like single video purchases available through the website, but it's something that I have considered in the past. Okay. Mark is referring to the shooting in Cleveland. Oh, right. Yeah, that was a really scary event that happened. I believe there was a guy that had a gun and he had claimed to have shot 20 people, and I think it turned out he only shot one person. Yeah. Yeah, so Mario Hernandez, man, do you ever sleep, brother? Or maybe you're on the same time zone that I am. I thought the Magical Grid series was awesome. I don't like reading programming books, so boring. So we have create some tutorials with storyboard too. I don't think that's ever going to happen. And if it ever does happen, if I do create something with a storyboard, it's probably going to be something like why I prefer using code instead of the storyboard, or something like that. Like honestly, people still ask me about this question a lot with the storyboard thing, and then my go-to answer is imagine imagine this website that we're using right now, the Facebook app and the Facebook live browser website. Imagine someone writing that out using a visual WYSIWYG editor. So that's almost impossible. So this is why I don't encourage using visual editors. It's you learn a lot more if you just code up the dang thing. So I learned a lot from senior engineers, SEs, software engineers at work, and I like to watch how you program. I always pick up a thing or two. Yeah. It's always interesting when you watch someone code and you just figure out, like, oh, you can do this. Oh, you can do that. Oh, I never thought about doing it this way. And then you think about how you've been actually programming yourself. And yeah, there's just a lot of like self-reflection that occurs. Great content so far. I'm just getting into programming. Can you briefly explain the difference between Python and Java? Well, the syntax is different. And there's a lot more to Python and Java. So he was kidding about paying for videos. Do I use app code? I haven't had a chance to use app code. Thanks for the tech things, but also for encouraging the coding spirit. Yeah. It's a great Sunday. Thank you, Tomas Urquillo. I think that's how you pronounce that. The thing about coding, the coding spirit, is that it's actually a lot of fun to code. The people that come to me about like using storyboards, I want to emphasize that it's actually really fun to type out code. And the moment you start typing out things, you really feel like you understand it, and you really feel like you have control over what your application is doing. When you're using the storyboard and you're just dragging things onto like some kind of canvas, you're not exactly programming. That's the difference. So and it's much harder to understand what's actually going on with a visual editor. Yeah. And so Hidden Games asks, is it possible to mix storyboard and scripting or coding? So yeah, you can mix both storyboards and code at the same time. And that works as well. And that's how I kind of migrated my last project at Touch of Modern. It was all done in storyboards, and then I migrated everything off of the storyboard to a just 99% code. What do you think about the cross-platform framework like React Native? Yeah, so solving massive view controllers, a lot of different ways you can solve that. Yeah, by the way, thank you again, Tomas, for the donation. If anyone's interested, you can hit the super chat down here and just send out a donation. What else is here? Oh, let's see my little dashboard here. We have the Instagram app. I don't think this is going to work, is it? So we're getting pretty far on this app here. And because I'm live streaming, the images won't load exactly, but oh, they are loading. So still have to build out this grid view versus the list view of this entire collection view, which is not all that difficult, but it does take a little bit of time to do it. And I think we're going to move on to the camera features of the app, and then we'll eventually get to the comments section, which, looks kind of like this. Let's see if this will actually load any comments. And you can start typing things in here. Yeah. So that's that. And let's see. Oh, God. Yes, Pavlos, I got your message on Instagram and also I think it was Facebook, the Facebook group. I haven't had the time to respond to you just yet. So I think this is a Mexican peso? Is that how that works? It's probably something around 20 American dollars. Not too sure, but I'm just going by the color right now. Okay, so how are we doing on time right now? So we're at 30 minutes. Okay. I will try to wrap up everything in the next 15 minutes or so before I run out of energy and breath here. Okay, so question here. How do you deal with coding burnout? Honestly, I don't really experience coding burnout, and I think I've answered this question before. I really like programming. I find it to be as fun as playing video games. Honestly, like I'd rather code than play video games. That's how much I like it. And so coding burnout is not something that I experience all that much. I do experience burnout in other aspects of working. For example, talking to sometimes trying to negotiate deals with clients, and then also sometimes when I'm building out a project from scratch for a different client, I have to think about all the pieces that I have to build out: server side, front end, iOS, and Android, and making sure all of it works. Doing that multiple times for different clients does get to be a little bit too much sometimes. And then it's almost easier to work on one project and then just keep building on top of that project instead of rebuilding everything for a different client. I just find that to be a little bit easier sometimes. So Asim, yo, what's up, man? What do you say about doing some Go tutorials? So Go is actually really easy to learn, and I would really love to build out some Go tutorials. I still haven't had a chance to gauge how much or how fast I would like to go through the server side tutorials. So I need to test out with a couple of videos and upload it to the YouTube channel and see if you guys can actually follow the server side stack. Because again, server side technology is very, very different compared to iOS application building. And you have to think about how things operate from the server side perspective. And it's just a little bit different. It's not too difficult. And I'll have to adjust the teaching style to be perhaps a little slower. But as you guys know, I like to walk through code rather quickly. Every time I'm watching someone else's channel video or lesson, and when I see that they're not going through the code fast enough, I start hitting the playback speed 2x just to go faster through the video. And I know that some of you guys are actually hitting the faster playbacks speed button on my videos as well. So maybe I'll go through some of the code even faster now. The good thing about everyone that's on my channel, all the subscribers on this channel right here, is that everyone seems to be pretty advanced in terms of iOS development. And that makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to go through the basics of iOS so much, which means that I don't have to cover what a button is, or I don't have to cover what a table view is. That just makes my life much easier. Okay. Have you ever got stuck in a project you felt like you never wanted to code again? Yes, I have. And that mostly happens when I am given someone else's code base. And if the person that wrote that code didn't do a good job at it, that's when I feel like I want to rewrite the entire project from scratch just to make it better. But oftentimes you don't have the opportunity or the time to do it. Parthenon, do you have some idea how Snapchat filter works? Is it made using something in the iOS framework or uses OpenCV? I'm not sure what CV is. I think they have their own private filtering libraries that they apply on the Snapchat application. And if you've ever done your own research on filtering or image processing, a lot of it has to deal with manipulating the pixels in the actual image itself and then applying some kind of complicated algorithm to change the image to have some kind of filter. And then I believe it involves a lot of like OpenGL technology and image manipulation. So I think it's fairly complicated. iOS has its own framework to apply like sepia tones, black and white filtering, and I've done it before, and it's pretty simple. And you can actually modify the threshold and the sensitivity of the filterings that you're applying. So maybe I'll show how to do that someday. So what do you think about protocol-oriented programming? So protocol-oriented programming is something that's not all that new. They just put a new name on it, and everyone thinks it's kind of a new thing now. So protocols are just another name for interfaces. And interfaces is the more generic term for protocols. And it's been around for like, 20 years. And iOS developers are kind of finally getting around to thinking about things in terms of interfaces. So I think it's a good thing that they're making, interfaces are making their way into iOS programming. What server-side language or framework do you use as a backend? So I use Google Go on the website, which is where people are buying the courses and downloading the source code for all my videos on YouTube. And I built that out from scratch. Originally, I hosted everything on this WordPress website, and I found that it was extremely difficult for me to upload my open source or my project, my code onto WordPress. And I didn't have a custom way to process payments. That's why I had to build out the entire website myself, which was also a project that I was interested in working on to see if I can do it. Interesting challenge to build it out. And then I learned React.js along the way, which is an excellent framework for web pages or website building. All right, so we have a Korean user. Thanks to your lecture, I got a job developing an app. That's excellent. Yesterday when we were doing the Saturday live stream, someone else mentioned that they got a WWDC scholarship after watching a couple of my videos, and someone else I think mentioned that they got a job from the videos as well. So it seems like I'm providing a positive impact on the world, just one life at a time, one person at a time. Yeah, I never really imagined that the channel could make an impact like that. But whatever positive impact that I can have on the people watching out there is always good. So server-side tutorials will bring in more viewers and subs for you. It's always in demand. Yeah. Now the question is whether or not the channel is going to expand into iOS and server-side, or iOS server-side Android, or just split them all in different channels. I feel like managing multiple channels might be a little bit too much for me right now. And if I ever create an Android tutorial set, I'm most likely going to put that on a different channel. The server-side tutorials I feel like can belong on this channel just because everyone is so interested in it. I always use 8x speed on my videos. Wow. Yeah, protocol oriented programming helps a lot. Yep. It's does a really good job at making sure you structure your code properly. So thank you, Bobby Jab. I know you're in San Jose, right? And I guess we're in the same time zone. I believe I saw you on yesterday's live stream. So Johan, question. I'm still in primary school, 7th grade. Wow. I've been programming for 2 years and I find school a waste of time. Should I focus on school or stay home programming? What is your advice? So unfortunately, if you are a citizen of the United States, I don't think you can not go to school unless you're doing homeschooling. Now, if your parents are available to provide you with homeschooling, then maybe you can do homeschooling and just learn how to code at home. I don't advise, like, programming is one aspect of your career, right? And your career is just one small aspect of your entire life. You're gonna miss out on a lot of different, I guess sometimes more important aspects of life if you focus too much on programming. And if you're able to make up on the other social interactions that a programmer also needs, then you can focus on programming at home and then do your social interaction activities outside of programming when you have the time to do so. Yeah. Filtering on arrays. I think I've done this a couple of times using the filter. Yeah. Yeah, so I believe if someone is new to iOS and saw that you are using the controllers instead of storyboards, they switched over to other tutorials. Yeah. So when I created this channel a year ago, I also thought about the new users coming to this channel, and I kind of just settled on not teaching super beginners on iOS development because there's just so many different channels and resources for beginners already. And because I also taught a boot camp in San Francisco, I know that there's actually a huge market for more advanced software developers. So this is why I decided to be more of the advanced resource. And so far it seems to be working. The channel has close to 50,000 subscribers. I don't really know how that happened within 1 year, but definitely happened. And why would you use OpenGL for filters? Because OpenGL provides you a lot of different tools that's not on the CPU. I believe you use the GPU to crank out the filtering and the images that you need to process. That's why you would use OpenGL. I think POP's more than just using protocols. It's also about protocol extensions, which is also not new. It's something like abstract classes. Yes. So I think most iOS programmers are not familiar with how abstract classes work. Abstract classes are more of a Java thing. And when I went from Java to iOS programming, I was looking for how to model out abstract classes for my projects, and I didn't really find a way to do it. The best that you can do is to create some kind of base class and then extend from that base class. And unfortunately, that's not what an abstract class is. Yeah. So OpenGL is used for gaming. It's basically OpenGL uses or allows you to use the GPU instead of the CPU to do a lot of the work in terms of processing the graphics. And that's why you can imagine processing filters can also be done on the GPU. I'm struggling to sort an issue in Swift. Is there a way to contact you to provide some help? So on all of the videos, you can go to the website for the source code and you can download the code. And then down below in the comments on the website, you can just ask a question and I'll eventually get to it. Yeah. So I think you have some good content, but I find it difficult to watch a video with lack of energy, enthusiasm, and tonality. I need just suggesting to help you improve and benefit more people. Yeah. So it's always helpful to have high energy during the videos, which sometimes I don't have a high energy on. And there's something about just programmers in general that don't have high energy because they're so focused on programming. Something that requires a lot of experience to get better at, and hopefully I'll get better at doing the videos in the future. Do you think you would do a course on how you built out your back end and how you built out your payment module? That would be an awesome course series. I know it might be long, but so powerful. Yeah, so that's the keyword right there. It'll be extremely long. Building out the payment processor for my website took about 3-4 weeks to do all of it, and I focused like a lot on it, like at least 6 hours a day building out the payment processor, and a lot of different issues kind of prevented me from getting it out sooner. Yeah. So only on constraints. So for you guys that have been watching my channel for a really long time, you'll notice that I don't exactly focus on one thing or one area for too long. And that's kind of the style that I like to teach people with. Like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever do a video on just one topic that has one focus, because it's typically, for me, it's not really practical, and I don't find that people learn through this method until they want to find like a really dedicated resource. So I don't know, maybe I'll do it. Yep, there is codementor.io where they provide you with someone that's more experienced in coding, and then you just sign up, pay, I don't know, $50, $100 an hour for the person's time. Thank you, Javen. Yep. Let's see. Oh God. So we have Roger Larkson. All right, this is going to turn into a very, very long live stream again. So 10 more minutes for everyone to get their questions in, and then I'll do my best to kind of just scroll through the chat here. Is there any secret about how to read the Apple Docs? I'm struggling with it and it's driving me crazy. Do you have any tips? It just takes time. The documentation in the beginning seems like it's overly verbose in describing how you want to use a certain library. But after a while, you kind of get used to how the documentation is written. And I think Apple Docs, they do a really, really good job at documenting. Like, all the years that I've looked at documentation, I think Apple Docs ranks up there as one of the best resources. Free me. I have a CS degree. I went to iOS bootcamp. I still can't code on my own. Should I quit programming? Well, how did you get your CS degree? I'm really confused. If you're not able to program, if you're not able to code, then yeah, I don't know. I don't yeah, I can't understand how or why you would be interested in getting first your CS degree and then going to an iOS boot camp if you can't code. Uh, I might consider doing something else, such as being a program manager. That's always helpful. Server side, please. Xamarin. I don't have experience in Xamarin. I don't do cybersecurity as well. Making a video chat app might be possible. I'm not exactly sure what an MS Messenger template layout is. Why don't you use storyboard in your tutorial? I feel like people are trolling me at this point with this question about storyboards versus coding. I don't use storyboard because I've done programming for too long to actually use a visual editor and actually depend on it. The guru of programming, we appreciate you. Can you adopt me, please? Currently not looking to adopt anyone, sadly. Oh, thank you, Roger, for the $2 donation. Yeah. I know Roger is enrolled in the Instagram course. I see your questions on the videos. So, how are iOS devs not familiar with abstract classes? Well, abstract classes aren't available through iOS programming. Like Objective-C and Swift doesn't allow you to create abstract classes. So that's kind of why they're not familiar with it. Yep. Yep. So I am looking to record the next Instagram video on how to actually use the camera on your phone. How to use the actual camera. Probably Monday. Yeah, that's awesome. So learning iOS dev right now, and there are so many good tutorials. Besides, Hacking with Swift is a really good resource from Paul Hudson. Ray Wenderlich is an excellent website. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm part of the Ray Wenderlich Android team. So the way they produce their tutorials, it's probably the best resource that you can find in terms of a written blog learning tool. Oh, Don Dan, I think I saw you yesterday. Doesn't have GPU. Yeah, before GPUs were a thing in the past, we were able to run video games like Doom and even, StarCraft back then. Oh, okay. Should be working on my web programming class final project, but I just can't stop watching your videos. Yeah, I love abstractions as well. Oh god, where are we? Okay. Kazakhstan, appreciate your courses. Looking forward to tutorials from other than MVC. Maybe I'll look into MVVM and RX Swift. Recently, you finished your Twitter tutorial series. I'm interested in profile screen on a real Twitter app. How to correctly build this UI. Yeah, I think someday I'll revisit the Twitter series. We'll see when I get the time to do that. Yeah. So Ryan says that I think your energy is fine. I can program while you're talking. Yeah. The thing about energy is that sometimes if you have someone that's too high energy, you'll find that programming it gets a little sporadic. And sometimes you'll have someone that's high energy, and then sometimes they'll hit it low, and they'll go back to high, low, high, low. I don't know. Yeah. Any tips on professional app dev with C#? You can look at Xamarin. I hear that's a very, very useful tool for building out iOS apps. Absolutely love using extensions. Yep. Yeah, extensions are an excellent addition to, I wouldn't say Swift or Objective-C. They were already there. Right. And I'm pretty sure Bobby Jap knows about what he's talking about. What's the best way to learn code successfully as a newbie? Well, you just gotta do it like 8 hours a day. Code header Instagram, please. Not sure what this means. The Instagram header that we have is already done in code. We have the user profile header that is all done in code. I just need to further flesh out like the following, the followers, and the number of posts inside of that header. Okay. Yeah. So King, yeah. You teach well, but it's kind of annoying when Swift always changes things and functions instead of making new attributes and not changing what already exists. Yeah. This is something that I've gotten used to over the past 10 years where the new version, the new language comes out, and then you have to adjust all of your old code to take advantage of the new languages. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So Pierre, thank you for your videos. Also, to the comment that you're not too low-key personality is actually appropriate. We watch not for entertainment, but for tutorials, and I listen to you while doing other stuff. Yeah. Also, you got a lot better on not using crutch words or space fillers like yeah. Definitely not during the live streams, which I'm trying to do 5 different things at the same time. It's still very difficult to read things and also say what's on your mind. Can't miss the opportunity to say that this is likely the best channel dedicated to iOS. Well, let's see how much longer it is only going to be dedicated to iOS. It seems like I kind of want to branch out to different things just so that I don't get burnt out on iOS. I really want to do some Android stuff, but more importantly, I want to do some server side stuff. Yeah, we'll see. So Mario Hernandez, why don't you do storyboards? You can add a button to your view in one drag and drop. If you do this programmatically, it takes like 20 lines of code. Seems like a waste of time to me. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people mention the fact that typing out code seems to take a lot of time. But I mean, we all get into programming because we like programming, right? So when people mention that, it's kind of funny to me. You're getting into programming so that you can use a visual editor to avoid programming, right? It's kind of a counterintuitive. Machine learning, I'm not an expert in machine learning, unfortunately. Message layout extension formats. Yeah, I'm not too sure what message extension layout is. Oh, is this the okay, I'm actually really interested in what this is exactly. So let me do a quick little Google search on this, but unfortunately, because I'm live streaming, I'm not able to Google search stuff. Okay, that should be fine. We'd much rather deal with 0.2 of silence than hear space fillers like yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get better at this over time. Oh, so MS Message template layout is an actual Apple framework that lets you lay out your messages similar to what iMessage does. Is that what it is? This is a iOS 10 library. Okay, MS So this is what I'm looking at right now. Describes how an MS message object is presented in the transcript. The message template includes the message extensions icon, an image, video, or audio file, and a number of text elements: title, subtitle, caption, subcaption. I'm not exactly sure where this is used. This is very interesting to me. Yeah, let me do some more research on this, and I will get back to you about this MS layout, message layout guy. So let's go back here. Okay. Move you back down here. Okay. Yeah, Bobby Jab, I was on last night. Yep. I see a lot of faces in here that was actually, or you guys seem to be joining in on multiple live streams. Okay. And yeah, it looks like everyone's kind of exiting on the live stream right now. We have 50 people watching. So cool. I think we made it to the 1 hour mark, which means I am going to probably check out in just a couple of minutes here. So Riff asks, are you sometimes singing while coding? It happens to me. So I have music playing probably 100% of the time when I'm coding. So I'll find myself humming and singing to the beats of the songs that I'm listening to. Team Storyboards, do you also hope for Android to Swift or switch to Swift soon? I actually do not. I wouldn't. Yeah, I would rather not switch to Swift. I kind of like Android the way it is right now. Yeah. I mean, Java is not all that bad. Kotlin seems to be a little bit of an improvement over the Java language. The syntax is kind of easy to learn, and I think it'll eventually become the kind of the de facto language of Android within the next couple of years, I think. Do Android your way of teaching is the only way. No other Android tutorials would be better than yours. Well, hopefully. Coding is programming, not visual storyboard. Exactly. Let me just reinforce your importance to us. People like me don't have anyone to teach us programming and don't know anyone who can give us industry insight or mentor us on this career. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people that are watching the videos on the channel kind of get both the coding aspect of how applications are built and then the videos about like how your career starts from a junior developer position and then the direction that you kind of move towards as you grow as a developer. That's also another interesting part of the iOS programming career that I would like to talk more about. I have friends that are in the industry. I know junior developers that I taught in my boot camp that have interesting stories to share. So I would like to get their feedback on their experience as a junior developer. And I want to do some interviews and capture that on video. And would really be interesting to get someone else on this channel. And I've talked to a couple of my students and they're actually interested in doing some interviews. So it's just a matter of me making it out to their office and then recording some short clips and editing it together. And then we'll get some interesting videos with someone else's face instead of just mine all the time. I know some of you guys are probably sick of looking at me after the entire year. From now, I will not storyboard. Brian, your is comforting. Yeah, keep the ahs coming. It's for iMessage apps. Oh, okay, I see. Srini, thanks for your UI view plus anchors.swt file. It really made my life simple. Yeah, so a lot of you guys are using the SnapKit pod, which, obviously I prefer my own anchoring extension file. And I think the SnapKit, the library, is a little complicated. It's not as simple as straightforward as the extension that I use, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah. The diff iOS is UIKit while Android SDK in terms of view. Is that the difference between UIKit and Android SDK? I mean, they're both really easy to work with, is my opinion. Like the Android SDK provides you with the XML layout structure, which I actually like using. And I can't really explain why the XML is really easy to use.